goddamn minutes.
She gave you like the sexy hey? Oh wow. Okay. Whoa, holy shit.
Nice.
Oh, this is going out on the broadcast, you know, right? Okay. This is a made up story, guys. Brian. Hey Brian, I think they only hear me. Sorry.
That whole story.
You guys are missing a great story from Brian right now. It's not true at all, but there you go.
Dude, I love this cat, man. I love this cat more than life itself.
Okay, start talking, guys, because they can only hear me, I think.
Yeah.
JD's just hearing voices.
Everyone should be able to be heard now.
JD, don't listen to the voices.
Check one. Can you guys hear Brian? Can you hear Brian? Check one. Can you hear Brian?
Now we wait 30 seconds.
What's up, my head? We got here. What's up, Brian Pop? Justin Observer, Stay Warm, Gabe, Boy Brown, SPC, JNet, Batman, Chief, Dave Station VR. Hey, welcome to the show. Mark, Ring, Shats, 79, Wolfie, Red Panda,
They said welcome. Is this our intro?
Wow, there's a lot of freaking people.
There's a lot of freaking people in the chat. 8 goddamn minutes. Actually, that was 11 goddamn minutes. So sorry about the sorry about the crazy long delay before we get started here, guys. This is PlayStation, or let's call it PSVR Gamescast Live. This is what we do here every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Eastern on PSVR Without Parole. We sit around, we talk about PlayStation VR games with me, Brian Paul from Without Parole, and to my left, your middle, that is Dave from Dave Station VR. Dave, I just realized that it says Brian Paul from Without Parole, then it just says Dave Station VR. It doesn't say Dave from Dave Station VR.
People can figure it out, I think.
They're one and the same.
You think it's self-explanatory?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of people calling me Devastation VR, which means
I see that all the time.
The fact that I'm called Dave, even though it keeps coming up.
Isn't there a person called Devastator, like on Reddit or something, that like people must be confusing you with? Is that not a thing?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
And to my far left, your normal left, that is AJ from, well, PSVR Underground and also Without Parole. He's our editor at large. He does all sorts of crazy top 10, that's not a thing, Beat Saber tips and walkthroughs and everything that, God almighty, I do not want to touch with a 10-foot pole. So thank you guys so much for tuning in to PSVR Without Parole. A little housekeeping. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you subscribe to Dave Station. Make sure you subscribe to AJ over at PSVR Underground. And also make sure you join our Discord. The link should be in the description. God only knows if that's actually true because everything's on fire here all the time. Also, make sure you join our community. I've been trying to be a little bit more active in our PS4 community. It's PSVR Without Parole Game Cats, all one word. Make sure you support us on Patreon, patreon.com/Without Parole Games for $1 or more every single month. And on top of that, make sure you change your name to GameCat to show how much you love me, because I love you even more. I promise. That's it, man. That's my rant. I got nothing else prepared for the show.
You got to make me a mod.
You
got to make me a mod because I'm on slow mode. I can't respond to the chat.
Yeah, you're not a mod. That's weird.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
well,
trying to thank people for giving me all these haircut compliments.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
I hear you saying that I'm super low. I just turned it up a little bit. Hopefully that fixes it.
Yeah,
Yeah, just so behind the scenes, the reason we're late is because we were trying to figure out how to get GC to
Something's
be
wrong
higher.
with my
So
mic, and I'm doing my best to weather the storm. So we'll see what happens.
yeah. The alternative is waiting like another half hour to get all the technical stuff settled, and if we didn't do that, then well, there wouldn't be a show yet. So, yeah, this was our compromise. All right, guys, let's dive into some stuff, man. This has been kind of a crazy week for PlayStation VR. There's been a bunch of announcements. There's been a bunch of interesting news stories. And anything piquing your interest right away, or do you want me to handle this?
there's a few big ones. I mean, I feel like we got to cover for sure the big firewall update that's coming out. Although that was probably news before, just today.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that's something we should tackle, and maybe let's just you want to just dive right into that right now.
No, let's not start because I was going to rant about that. Let's start with something a little less divisive. You know what I mean?
Sure, man.
Let
Absolutely.
people settle into it first.
All right.
Although I guess I shouldn't have mentioned it if I didn't want to talk about it yet. But
You know, man, it's whatever. So well, then let me start off and say that I spent a solid 15 minutes. So that means I'm a professional at this. Before the show, playing Bartender VR. Man, I didn't know what to expect from this thing, man. Like I was like, is this going to be like a Dead Hungry thing where you just have to make drinks really fast, or like a counterfight sort of thing, or is it going to be like actually a bartender simulator? Because they're showing this trailer with like this professional mixologist and somebody who's going to teach you how to do things properly. And I will tell you, after years and years and years of working in a restaurant and working and doing bartending, there's nothing I hate more than professional mixologist. I think it's the fucking. I think second to being a sommelier, it's the dumbest fucking thing you can be. And Ben,
you want to see me flip this bottle of whiskey?
Hold on, wait, I got to fade back to you. Whoa, yes. See, that's pretty.
See, this is Bartender VR right here.
So, so I like went into it for like 15 minutes, and I was like, oh man, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be. This is
like entering douche world.
It's, I mean, a little bit, you can pick up the bottles and you can flip them and stuff, and you can do all like the, the theatrics, but like I don't think bartending is about doing the theatrics. I think it's about making a quality drink in the way it's supposed to be made. And that's sort of what this game is about too. It's, it actually does teach you how to make real drinks, which part of me is like, dude, this isn't fun. And then part of me is like, I don't know. I can see if like you didn't do this for a living, maybe it's enjoyable. But man, I spent 15 minutes with it, and I was like, I can't believe I just spent $20 so that I could go to work tonight. That was not really something I was.
And it's got I've heard Paul saying it's got some game-breaking bugs at this point. Like he can't get past
level
chapter
3
or level 3.
Yeah, I don't know how far into that is. I'm only in the first club, and I will tell you that right off the bat, this thing is blurry as hell for a game that like you stand in one spot the whole time, and like you would think it could be super duper optimized. This is like one of the blurriest games out there, and just from a technical standpoint, when you reach out and you grab the scoop from the ice bin and like scoop, the second you grab the scoop, it does this weird like wrist thing where like you can't hold it the way that you would actually hold an ice scoop, and then suddenly you're like holding it strange to try to scoop the ice out. It's these basic fundamentals, from graphics to like controls. It's like it probably works. I mean, I haven't seen that bug yet, but I don't know. You think it could use a little bit more polish for $20?
Yeah, for sure. Well, part of that, I know it got announced on the drop for this week, but if you look at the PSN store, it says released May 30th. Maybe it's not. That date hasn't come yet.
It's not out yet.
Maybe they meant to release it on the 30th, and they have like a day one patch or something. But
maybe,
who knows? I'm not sure.
Well, considering I started this, I kind of derailed the breaking news.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Meow. We got a Madman the Game Cat $10 donation. Meow. He needs all the exciting stuff in the next 10 minutes.
Whoa.
Because I got to bail. So.
All right, then let me break all embargoes and tell you everything.
No, I just want to know, like, why is it that like a game like Bartender VR or something like that, why is that the one that always comes out like a buggy mess versus the full-fledged like real games?
Because they're real developers behind them. Not to show, hopefully the Bartender VR guys aren't out there getting offended. But I'm just saying.
It always seems like those little obscure kind of like very limited, like all you're doing is bartending or like the experience kind of games. Why are those more buggy than actual games is what I want to know.
I have no idea. I think Dave nailed it, man, because real developers know what they're doing, or the people who are experienced in developing real games. I have no idea.
This company has never made anything beyond this, and they haven't made anything since. It's been out on PC for a long time, and it actually has surprisingly positive reviews on PC.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of games like that that came out in like 2017 or late 2016, where people had just gotten their headset and everything that was available, if it sort of worked, was like amazing.
Yeah.
And so there's like a wave of old positive reviews.
No,
Whereas if you played it now, you'd be like, what the fuck is this thing?
That's true. But I will say, you know, like when I picked up the bottles and I was pouring, you can pour from a height and everything like that, you know, to, again, the theatrics and everything. But it does work. Like, you know,
The physics are okay and stuff.
physics are fine. I was just disappointed I couldn't take the bottle and chug and be like, you know, everything get like hazy and stuff. I'd be like, that would have been pretty cool. Shout out to Wolfie Smith, the Game Cub. He says, congrats to Aston Villa for getting to the playoff final. Holy crap, that was a lot of sports in one sentence. What, anybody know what sport that is? What's the playoff final? Who's Aston Villa?
I'm not sure. Basketball playoffs were happening recently, are happening now. I don't know. I know the Magic got kicked out, but
I don't know.
the Orlando Magic. I live here, but that's the only reason. AJ, everyone's still saying you're quiet. I don't know if we can fix that.
I'm really afraid to try and fix that, and then it gets really bad,
blowing everybody's ears out. Yeah.
I really don't want to damage anybody's eardrums. I will do my best to. I don't know if I gotta hold this thing closer, but
Yeah,
I really apologize about that, guy. We're trying to fix it.
It's clipping like crazy. So here's what I'll say. I'm going to lower my volume on my end, and then you bump both of us up, so we can all be around the same level.
I'll do my best here. So I got to turn myself down a little bit here.
Live technical issues.
There we go. Desktop
audio.
audio.
Am I any quieter than I was a minute ago?
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if this input volume is even doing anything.
I wonder how far past 100% I can go. What's the point of having 100% if you can go further than it? All right, you guys are at 130%.
Same reason to have an amp that goes to 11.
AJ,
actually, I have an amp that goes to 12.
All right.
It's very. It's good, man. It's real good.
Testing the mic.
Testing.
How do you get
testing?
I swear
you got quieter somehow. I don't know, man.
Every time
you turned it up and I got quieter.
Every time we turn you up, or every time you try to fix it, it goes the other direction.
Do the opposite of what you've been doing to fix it. Try and break it. So try and break it, and then see if it.
Turn everything down, then. Yeah, I like how Troy Powell points out dynamic mic. It is a dynamic mic. It's a diaphragm microphone. Yeah, I'm really sorry, guys. I don't know why that's doing that, but just gonna.
Okay. Yeah. Now people are saying don't waste the time.
Yeah. Let's move on. We'll get it. We'll have it ready for next time, guys.
Yeah, just turn it down, AJ, because you are clipping like crazy, and then we got to move on though. Otherwise, we'll spend the whole show trying to fix your mic instead of talking about shit. All right, so okay, so I started this off by talking about something I've been playing with. That's a whole different conversation. What have you guys been playing on PlayStation VR this week?
I've been doing kind of like trying to do daily box VR actually, because I don't ever exercise. But even though it didn't like blow me away the first time I played it, and I was sort of like, oh, the tracking is sort of off a little bit. It's a really good like daily workout routine kind of thing. And so I'm enjoying it. I've been playing a lot of that. And then also, what was the other one I played? Oh, the Space Junkies patch with the move support and the smooth turning. I put a decent amount of time into that too. And that was really fun. I'm enjoying that. Oh, joystick. Actually, my barber just got married also. So I'll give him a wedding present. $2.
I'm so far behind. I was like trying to get the box VR trailer up and running, and you're already on to Space Junkies. Like,
oh, sorry. Well, I mean,
I did my best.
Yeah. Didn't have that much to say about.
Wait, did I miss the joystick guru?
He gave us a little $2 tip from my barber. Thank
you, joystick guru.
So you got to send that to me.
Yeah,
and then I'll give it to my barber.
I'm gonna send you $2 in cash in the mail.
Okay.
Through the post office. I'm not gonna use one of those envelopes that blocks what's inside of it.
All dimes, right? Just a bunch of dimes.
No, you're gonna hold it up and you're just gonna see the outline of $2 bills. That's not making it to you ever.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and let Madman know what I've been up to real quick. So before he gets out of here, but checked out the Space Junkies. Space Junkies got the update with move support now. and it's finally the way that that game should have been at release. Except it still needs to be about like $15 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that they did that sale before they added the actual thing. So if
Right,
you were
which I
curious,
said
you
was a
still don't know
horrible
if it's like at least let it run for the first week after having it
Right.
patched.
So people could be like, "Hey, this is $15. It's got move support." They really screwed themselves, I think, a little bit on that one. But
Well,
they did
the whole
they did
release
that-
has been kind of botched, but it's a good game, especially
Yeah.
now with all the
it,
updates and stuff.
it definitely is fun, and they also, even almost more importantly, they added smooth turning, which is
Mhm.
really nice as well. The other game I played, so last week when we were doing the top 20, I kept hearing people say Transference needs to be in the top 20. Transference needs to be in the top 20.
Oh, had
So
you not played it before?
I bought it for Halloween, ended up playing Home Sweet Home and Paranormal Activity, which I absolutely love both of those. but,
Transference is better.
So I was trying to wait to play Transference for this Halloween. Hold up. We got Johnny Mentology in the chat. He says, Dave, trim your suits proper. AJ.
Not true. He didn't say
Whoa.
trim my suits proper. That does.
Oh, your trim suits you proper. AJ, get down on that mic, dude. Get in there. Brian, demand the Jade Cypher devs to add Skyrim controls.
Well, I love that
And
Johnny
they're
really,
not going to do that.
Johnny really took advantage of that tip, huh? He was like, "I'm
He
gonna."
made the most of that.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that. Like, you know,
It sounds like the devs are adding Skyrim controls eventually, but then they just tweeted out yesterday that they've got the 3D rudder support up and running, and I don't know if that patch is live, but obviously it's going to be live by the time 3D rudder comes out. I'll jump into that tonight and see if I can put my feet up and move around like a pro.
Yeah. All
They
10
can
people who
honestly-
bought a 3D rudder are going to be able to play it.
what's funny is after playing the Space Junkies controls, that actually might work well for Immortal Legacy, something similar. I think what it made me realize, because people seem to really like the controls, is that I think just having the turning and the strafing on one hand is important, and then having everything else on another hand. What Immortal Legacy, what I noticed it does that people don't like the most is that it has turning on one. It's got the right turn on the right hand, left turning and strafing on the left
That's
hand.
always a pain in the
Yeah.
ass.
And
Other
that's-
games have
that's
done
what
that.
people-
It sucks.
Most games I really hate it. That's like the only game that I never hated it with. But I can understand where people are coming from. So hopefully they do get that fixed. But anyways,
Sorry to interrupt. Nick Mulo, the Game Cat, he said, "I thought PSVR Underground was saying transference wrong initially, but now I think it's probably the way it should be said." I think we're all saying it wrong. If it's actually like the psychological term, it's transference.
Yeah, transference.
And so it says
Okay.
transference or transference. It's transference, but that's such a random aside.
that's
Sorry.
actually a really good point. But transference, yeah, I don't want to even go into that more because I feel like it's kind of spoilery.
You got to experience it. But
Yeah.
you can say some stuff surface level, like how'd you like it, or what would you think about the graphics?
So
and stuff.
I did like it a lot. There was one part in particular that I had the most blood curdling scream that I've ever given off ever. So
Awesome.
I think in that term,
Was it when the dog? I won't
Yeah.
say anything. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, that one got me too.
Yeah.
Carlonio Plum sends a £5 tip saying, "Enjoy the new format. Your top 20 is solid. Star Wars is a good shout if you own Battlefront." Agreed.
Absolutely.
That Rogue One mission is phenomenal. Thank you so much, Carlonio, for your awesome donation.
Thank you, Carlo. Neo.
Yeah,
Guys, I do understand the mic is a little low. I just got to roll with it for now. If I turn it up, it'll rain hell on your eardrums. So I don't want to hurt your ears. I'll just try and talk louder like it is now. So hopefully it sounds okay.
yeah.
And after the show, we're all going to sit around and try and figure it out. So
Yeah,
next
we're
time,
gonna
no
get
need
it,
to worry for next time.
We're gonna get it set up. But anyways, the other thing I played was Firewall. And shout out to Nick Mulo, Void Citizen, and Frog. Had a great time playing with those guys. And we even, for the top 20 video, we used a clip of us playing together last night for that video, and had an absolute blast with those guys, man. Really appreciate you guys leaking up. So make sure you join our Discord, go into the multiplayer meetups, and if you need players to play with, just be like, hey, I need people to play with Firewall with, and we'll all jump in there.
Dude, yeah, and thank you so much. I just want, from a personal standpoint, I want to say thank you publicly to AJ. This top 20 list was an absolute beast. It took me way longer than I expected. There's a reason why there's so many trailers being used instead of gameplay footage, because man, it was like just it felt like I was hitting roadblocks at every single turn. And so AJ wrote like half of the script. AJ did half of the voiceover work, and he captured a bunch of footage for me to use. So, you know, I just want to publicly say thank you very much to AJ, and also thank you to all the Game Cats who played Firewall, because that clip was awesome. That was an awesome clip to include, man. You can really hear the teamwork and how it all just kind of came together at the end there. That was an amazing clip on the top 20 list. Thank you.
A lot of fun. A lot
Great
of fun
work,
playing
dude.
with those
Yeah.
dudes. Absolutely.
I was surprised and pleased to hear you on most of those top 20 ones, or not most, but like a decent portion of them.
You know, my
So,
voice
good work,
can be
man.
okay when I don't have to yell. It's a little
When
bit
you've got
better.
a proper setup, yeah.
Yeah. So but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Transference, Space Junkies, Firewall, and just I cannot put enough emphasis on how excited I am for these next coming weeks, and everyone else should be as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Like all the games coming out are just absolutely ridiculous.
It's going to get bonkers.
Although
Yeah.
I will say, before we get too excited about all the games coming out, we should probably one of the news stories we should probably drop is that Five Nights at Freddy's apparently got delayed for a week, right?
May 28th now, yeah.
So it's supposed to
They're
no way.
saying basically that they decided they were going to miss out on some marketing opportunities by releasing it on the 21st, which I don't know what that means.
I know exactly what that means, because here's
They didn't want to go Quest.
well here I don't think so. I think or it's possible. Like obviously I'm not a developer, I didn't make the game, but here's what I think. Every single time a game gets delayed by like something a short amount of time like that, I'll tell you what happens. Suddenly we get review keys. And so they because it's one of those things. I think Sony goes, okay, we can put your game out on the 21st and we'll give you keys on the 22nd, or we can put it on the 28th and then you give everybody a week. We give you those keys on the 22nd. You can give them all to YouTubers, and they can have reviews and content and live streams and everything ready to go for when embargo lifts. So I think the promotional opportunities that they'd be missing out on is actually us, to be honest with you, a bunch of free publicity. So that's my speculation. I'm assuming that we'll be hearing
I
from.
would love if that was the case. Although I haven't even asked them for a code yet.
I'm
but
assuming
I
we're
should.
all going to hear from them this week. That's my
Okay.
guess. And if anybody from Five Nights is watching, we'd really like a key. Thank you very much. withoutparole@gmail.com.
And you can give them my address too.
Not
these people. No, not these people.
112 Main Street, Orlando, Florida. It's a little white house with pink shutters. It's adorable.
Send him a box of wine. He'll love it.
A whole box.
A
A
box.
box of
like
wine.
it.
Yeah, I don't know if wine. That's not your jam, is it?
I drink
Ooh,
wine.
wow.
I'll definitely
So
drink
Madman-
Pinot Noir. A good Pinot Noir, Brian.
Madman came out and he's got a $5 donation, and he says, "Moss is better than Astrobot." Sorry, just wanted one of you to say it. Anyways, gotta go, guys. Rawr.
Thanks, Madman.
Madman, thank
That's
you so
a
much.
really hot take, but
Of all people,
hope you have a good night.
yeah. I mean, I love them both. I love them both equally. Well, I don't know about equally, but I do love them both. But I can see where he's coming from. Moss, you know, they're completely different. Astrobot's all about the gameplay and the crazy style, you know, and Moss has more of this like hack and slash storybook kind of telling deal.
Yeah.
But the world, though, the world does look amazing. I mean, it looks real, and you know, they announced earlier this week that there's DLC coming for Moss. There's free DLC coming for Moss, and I forgot what it was called, but do you remember what it was called?
Oh, it's like the something garden. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
It's
from the garden.
the Twilight Garden. Sorry, I wasn't paying
Twilight
attention.
Garden. Thank
That's
you.
yeah, I knew. Yeah.
So I'm really excited to play the Twilight Garden DLC. And one thing that, you know, stuck out to me was it's going to be more of like an open world kind of setting, which is going to be pretty sweet it's going to be interesting. It's going to be different. But the other thing is they were even posting on Twitter about like you're going to have weapons to switch through. Like they had like an inventory. So you've got like different
cool.
weapons, different shield. So you're going to have different weapons and different shields to cycle through now. And I cannot wait to see what kind of weapons and stuff they throw in there.
I'm curious to see how they tie it into the existing game, because what I was reading was that there's going to be entryways to the Twilight Garden from areas in the existing game.
Yeah, they made it sound
And
like
so,
there's
like-
some serious secrets going on.
what I was thinking is it's almost like a lot of games have these, like, I'm thinking, I think Devil May Cry has them, and like the latest Doom had them, where it's like a challenge level that takes place in a separate world, and you go to a certain spot and you like activate it. So I wonder if that's what it's going to be like, or if it's going to be its own like existing place where it connects all the different areas of the other,
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know. I guess it's probably worth mentioning that it's going to like launch, I think, with the Oculus Quest, and so they are getting that content this month, and then for PlayStation VR, where we're getting that sometime in
next
June.
month.
Yeah, they didn't specify like early, beginning, late month or anything, just June.
Yeah, at least it's not a long wait though. Like,
oh yeah,
could be a lot worse.
Oh yeah, we have so much to keep us busy in the meantime. It's not like we have nothing to play. I just wanted to say real quick. I don't want to like let this chat get too far ahead of me. Durant Fan VR, the Game Cat, said, so does it mean that the bundle that includes Five Nights at Freddy's is also delayed an extra week as well? I don't think so, because that bundle comes out later.
The 31st.
Exactly, later than the game even comes out. So that's at the end of the month. That shouldn't affect anything.
Yeah,
yep.
It'll be fine.
All right. So what's next, guys? There's been so much stuff happening this week. I don't even know where to go.
Well, so we got Predator VR. We should talk about Predator VR.
So
I know just a teensy bit about it, and maybe you can throw on that video that I sent you after we talk about it for a sec.
Let me bring that up.
That was definitely a huge surprise. If you look right next to my PS4 right now, there is a Predator Blu-ray next to it.
Awesome.
I mean, when I saw that, I totally forgot that happened too. But yeah, so they did show some gameplay of like an arcade Predator. Is that what you said?
Yeah. So I'm putting the pieces together. The game in the arcade footage that Brian's going to show in a minute is called Predator VR, the same title. And we've heard that it was developed by the people who did Brookhaven. And I know for a fact that the Brookhaven guys, after they finished that, started developing arcade stuff for like Vegas and like casinos and hotels and arcades and stuff like that. So it would make sense that they created an arcade game that they're then porting back. So I'm pretty sure this video is what we're going to get, which is like a wave shooter. It looks like a wave shooter.
I got to say, as much as I love Predator and everything about it, the game, from looking at it, it does look a little generic, a little bland.
Oh, absolutely. It's just like a cheap tie-in, kind of quick and easy.
I'm hoping, that, that's a lot of stuff in VR can look like that on the surface, though. But,
that's true.
That guy was having the time of his life right there. So I'm hoping that that's the case, but it does look a little like on the bland, boring side, but we'll see what happens.
So I do have some faith because I like Brookhaven. I've always liked Brookhaven. And so I trust those devs. I just wonder, so they made Brookhaven not with arcades in mind, and then they started making arcade games off the back of that, and they created an arcade version of Brookhaven and stuff. And so I'm just wondering, do I like their arcade games, or do I like, what they were doing before? So I trust them to create something really cool, but that doesn't look like it's going to blow me away. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if all else fails, it's just going to be, Brookhaven in the Predator universe. Which, if that's all it is, I'm like, that's fine by me. Like, I don't need to be more than that. That would be cool. Yeah.
Somebody mentioned need Alien vs Predator VR, and I was thinking the same thing when this came out, because I want to play on the Alien side and crawl on the ceiling with my Move controllers.
I just want them to port the actual Jaguar version, running at 10 frames a second, where you can play as the Colonial Marine, you can play as the Alien or the Predator.
I just played the shit out of that.
I do still play the shit out of that on my Jaguar.
It's a really good game.
So that's the same as the arcade version then, right?
I thought the arcade version was the Capcom side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah, it's a beat 'em up.
No, this is a first-person shooter on the Jaguar.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you can play as the Alien, you can play as the Marine, and you can play as the Predator, and they all have different move sets and stuff. It's pretty cool.
That. Yeah, my favorite's the arcade game by far.
That is supposed to be really, really good, and it's hard to find unless you get a ROM or something. Is there an official re-release of it outside of that Capcom arcade stick thing?
Yeah, that's the only way I played it was through the arcade machines, but no, just the side-scrolling beat 'em ups, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Even the Dungeons and Dragons, or
the D&D ones were awesome.
Captain
I bought
Commando, Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. Those were my jam back in the day.
You ever play Moonwalker? It's
Yes,
not a
I
Capcom
did.
one. That one's
did.
like weird that it exists, but I had fun with it.
That's
Wait,
actually a
wait.
really good game.
Not Michael Jackson's Moonwalker.
It
Michael
is, but there were
Jackson.
2 different versions. So the home version is like a side-scrolling platformer or something, I think, or like
Yeah, I have it
it's
on
a
Genesis
side-scroller.
and Master
Yeah.
System. Actually, I have them on both.
The arcade version is up to 4 players, and it's like Ninja Turtles. It's like a beat 'em up.
I thought it was
And you have
isometric.
these-
Is that right?
It is isometric,
Okay.
but it's still pretty much like that kind of game.
Gotcha.
So I guess, yeah, I don't know.
Right.
Anyways.
Retro gaming talk. I love it, man.
Later Lethal.
If we were doing anything other than PlayStation VR on this channel, it would just be fucking nonstop retro games, man. Because like the 16 and 32-bit hours are like 2 of my favorite consoles or console generations of all time. Those are just amazing.
I do love me some Battletoads too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Always possible.
Although Battletoads, somebody mentioned Battletoads in VR where you have to punch. Not in the chat. I think it was in the Discord earlier, and I was like, "Oh my god, you would get so fucking tired." It's already hard enough, man. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to make Battletoads
But how cool would
more
it be
strenuous.
to like when you do like the 3-hit combo and like you see your hand and it gets like huge, like your fist just like grows like 10 times the size and like punches something.
That'd be
It
How
would be
great
fun.
would that be to see in VR?
It'd be fun.
All right, guys, we got to move on because I know we're limited on time with Dave tonight.
Well, no, we're not actually. I forgot to mention that. So they switched it to a 3-week cycle this time around.
Okay, well,
I'm sorry. We
we're-
should have done more planning.
Yeah,
so
because
I'm not
'cause we're
leaving
kicking-
early tonight.
Okay.
No, yes, you are. We've got a guest
No.
star plan.
No.
What?
Well, hey, Brian, let's do this. Since
Yeah.
I'm having mic issues,
Yeah.
let's let our guest take my space so I can figure this out.
I was just gonna say all 4 of us can be on this, but
Yeah.
if we can do that too if you want to. I'm not gonna.
Just
Yeah.
because
So
I'm
I should have
having
told you.
issues,
So next week is going to be when I have to leave.
Okay, all right. So
tell us before the games cast. You know.
yeah.
It
Before we're
didn't
live.
come up this time. I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right. But we still got to move on anyway because we got a lot to talk about. And this is
Firewall.
Before we get into that, I think this is kind of
Okay.
a news light story.
Also, Survios has never not released a game
Yeah.
on PSVR, so they know what they're doing as far as optimizing it and everything.
Yeah.
I am a little worried, like you said, like there's a trailer, but there's no footage, there's no details. It's just like this exists and will eventually appear in some form. But Survios hasn't really fucked up yet, so
This would be a first for
I
them.
got some faith in them.
Yep.
And if they become the company that starts taking over like the licensed kind of like tie-in stuff, because they got Creed,
Yeah.
now they'll have Walking Dead. I would love if they were the ones to lead that, like
Yeah.
moving forward.
There's very few VR companies I trust more than Survios. Like they've knocked it out of the park every single time. And yeah, so even if this turns out to be like a wave shooter, like people are speculating, it's going to be a Survios wave shooter. And like the last time they did a wave shooter was Raw Data, and Raw Data was amazing. If you can, like that's like half tower defense, half wave shooter. I don't think they would do anything less than that with such a big IP. So my hope is that they treat this thing properly.
I
like we
think
expect
you'll
them
be
to.
able to move around. I think you'll have spaces to defend. There might be waves of zombies, but it won't be stationary wave shooter. Because like everything
Right.
Survios has done leads me to believe that they're not going to make a stationary wave shooter.
Right.
Why would they do
No,
that?
Maybe not stationary. I don't know. There's nothing but speculation right now. The article came from PlayStation Universe. And what was funny was earlier on Twitter, Shug was like, what is this for PSVR? And they were like, we haven't confirmed what platform it is yet. They
Right.
officially said that.
Yeah, they
then
gotta
that
say that.
article- And then that article comes out and it's like they officially say it's for PSVR. So it's a little back and forth. I'm hoping, it's Survios. I'll tell you, it's Survios. So I'm really excited. They could really make anything. They're making that pirate game.
Dude, Battle Wake
that's
looks
coming
so
out.
good.
Yeah, Battle Wake. It looks really polished. And then whatchamacallit? But so the rumor is that there's 4 characters. It's going to take place in the Rick Grimes era. So it's going to backtrack a little bit. Spoilers, he's dead. And
Oh shit! I haven't watched that far. I mean, I figured he was going to die eventually.
Yeah, I haven't watched that far either. But if I
Since
haven't,
we're already
for some
there, who
reason-
killed him? Did Negan kill him?
Wait,
assume
wait,
Negan
whoa,
killed him,
whoa, whoa! Listen.
We're already in major spoilers. Why not go all the way?
We can
I don't know.
we
I
can
thought
joke
it-
about spoilers. Let's not actually spoil anything for
I
anybody.
didn't actually get
He
to
just-
watch it, but
okay.
it got spoiled for me. So afraid of
Okay.
the disease. But anyway,
He's like, you got spoiled for me, so fuck everybody else.
Yeah, right.
no, I'm usually good about that. I hope everybody's caught up to speed except for you two.
Honestly, the thing is, I don't care anymore.
No.
So
yeah,
yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Yes, quit being dramatic. But no, but so it's gonna have that, and there's 4 players on the cover of it. So I just really have a hard time believing that on PSVR it's gonna be 4 players, but who knows? How cool would it be to have 4 players, like, you know, basically like a Left 4 Dead kind of deal?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's The Walking Dead.
I mean,
And-
so I will say, Spring Vector has more than 4 players, right?
8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as far as the net code and all that stuff, they've proven that they can pull off a game
right,
that has
right.
multiple players, and especially one where you're moving at high speeds and everybody's doing their own thing. Like,
And I
they
have to
could probably
say,
pull it off.
watching footage of World War Z on like PS4 proper, man, like I'm just like I'm ready for a Left 4 Dead kind of game. I'm ready for something in VR that, like, you know, is intense, that it's, you know, like, you know, like very reliant on teams, you know, which I think I was getting ahead of myself with the whole firewall zombie mode. But
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I've been playing World War Z on flat screen, and it's not the best game, but it's fun. It's like Left 4 Dead in third person.
it just looks
And
fun,
that's been
man.
scratching
Yeah.
that itch. It's been scratching that itch.
I love those
But
hordes
if-
of zombies,
if
man.
this-
So how they're all crawling all over each other, just like the movies.
Oh,
That
yeah.
looks so amazing.
And if you chuck a grenade right at the bottom, they just like crumple. It's so cool.
Nice physics engine on that for sure. All right, man, trying to push through the news here. What else is happening?
Gorn, got to talk about Gorn.
We can talk about Gorn. That works for me.
That's a brief one. Basically, they haven't like officially confirmed. Yes, we got a port finished. It's coming this day or anything like that.
Well,
but
they've confirmed that
they
it
got
is
it.
coming.
yeah, they've got a team working on it, and they said they trust them to port it over because they're better developers than the guys who made it.
Right.
This is coming from the guys who made it.
I love
so.
that. They're so
Oh,
humble
yeah, yeah.
or like self-deprecating.
Self-deprecating,
Yeah.
yeah. But so that is going to be on the way at some point, which should be awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. Everybody has a great time with it on PC, and
But that's
on
another
PS4.
one, man. Like, people are so effing excited about this game that, like, it makes me really wonder. I'm like, is this game as good as everybody's saying, or is this another one like Bartender Simulator that
Well,
like, was an earlier
I-
game and everyone's like,
I
oh,
think
it's
it-
so good for the time.
I think it comes from that era of PC VR games where stuff was just like crazy, off the wall, like wacky, anything goes kind of games. And not necessarily that it's like a polished game or like the best game in the world or anything like that, but it was just like something for people to watch someone stream on YouTube, like, and act crazy and see some crazy shit happen.
Yeah.
And so we'll
It
see when it
actually-
hits if it's actually worth, diving into or not.
Yeah,
But I'm excited.
I'm excited for it. I love the crab claws and just the random goofy stuff. And, you know, obviously it's going to have some over the top gore and physics. First of all, really good job on them for making that trailer. I love that trailer. That's like a rap video.
So good, yeah.
Yeah.
That's really great. But yeah, I'm not expecting it. I'm going to keep my expectations low for now because I just don't expect it to come out anytime soon. I think at least it's going to be 6 months to a year.
No,
Yeah.
I would. I mean, 6 months, yeah, a year. No, I think if it's not out in 2019, I'd be shocked. It doesn't seem like a very big game. And
I mean, they'll miss the boat if they don't get it out in time.
yeah,
People won't be that excited about a 2016 or 2017. When did it come out? 2017.
yeah.
How old is it? It's been around for a long time on PC. So
It's been around for a while, and I think they do. I think they understand that they need to kind of like push this thing out the door. So I think, you know, when you have a dedicated port team and like you're not splitting the resources for the development team between like whatever their new project is and porting this old project, you know, you get people who are 100% committed to just porting it over. I mean, I think they can probably push this thing out in like 4 months.
you're
So-
probably right. I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see.
I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Uh, I want to make sure that we have enough time to talk about the Firewall DLC before all three of us aren't here anymore. You guys mind kind of jumping ship and going over
Well,
to
I
that?
think. I mean,
No,
the
the
chat
only other
voted for
thing-
AJ to stay,
Oh, did they?
despite the mic issues.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
said, "Don't go. Stick around.
Yeah.
We'll do
Okay.
4
Well,
people."
guys.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you straight up. Our guest has no idea what Firewall is. So you guys want to?
Oh,
You guys want?
is this your dad?
It is my dad. He's been playing everybody's
No,
golf.
Is it really?
No, but I can't wait to give my dad
That was my
everybody's
first
golf.
thought.
Yeah.
That's my first thought that we were all going to talk about
You
everybody's
guys
golf.
are in for a treat. We've got a great guest for you. I think you're going to be really happy about
How
it.
come I don't
Hey,
even know
real
about
quick-
who this?
Real quick, before the Firewall thing, we do. There is that Folia Dear Father, so
Ooh.
keep an eye out for that.
Oh, yeah.
Wait. Let's talk about that real fast. We can. Our guest can remain quiet for the beginning of his or her presence. So let's take a look at that trailer because holy crap, we took a look at. There it is. We took a look at this almost 2 years ago on PSVR Theater. And man, this looks dramatically different than it did then. I just thought this was one of those games like Mindhunter, whatever the hell that game was, that like just slipped under the radar, and maybe the developers like lost funding, and it just ended. But man, they revealed this thing, and it looks better than ever. But also keep in mind when you're watching this trailer that it's also coming out on like Xbox One X. It's also coming on PlayStation 4 Pro proper. So like these are probably like the super HD version of the game. There's no way it's going to look this good.
So
in
at
VR.
some point, so I can't see the trailer because the thing's delayed.
Yeah.
What are we looking at here?
We're looking at the trailer for Folia, Dear Father.
It's
Okay, Folia. It's for Folia.
basically-
Okay.
Yeah, it's a new horror game that's coming out. It's made by an Italian development team, a small team. But I gotta say, for as small as the team is, it looks pretty damn good.
It actually does. I'm seeing it now. Wow.
right?
I've
I
never
was
seen
expecting-
anything about this.
No, I was expecting something much less.
Wow.
But no, it looks cool and it is very gruesome. So
Yeah, I just saw a rat crawl into a dude's mouth, and now they're showing people with
Yeah,
like
it's
missing jaws and
pretty
shit.
brutal.
Wow, this is crazy looking.
And I know
Holy
Art
fuck.
in the chat said no more horror for him, but I'm sorry, but
Dude. No,
horror
I'll play
is
this.
where it is at. In,
Yeah.
Play the hell out of this.
VR.
Does this also have like a lady chasing you around who you gotta hide from? Because it
It's
looked
a
like there
stealth-
was.
Yeah, it is a stealth horror.
That's
game.
what I thought. It looks like it.
Yeah, I really hope that. I mean, man, if they can get this thing looking even remotely that good in PSVR, like if it's
Yeah.
If it
My-
looks half that good,
My
I'll
que-
be satisfied.
my question is like, what is Capcom doing with that RE engine? Like, they should be licensing that thing out, man, and like letting people develop
Well,
on that.
They have developed their own games that aren't Resident Evil games. Like Devil May Cry 5 is on the Resident Evil engine.
No, but I mean, like why aren't like that thing is so useful? Like one of the main selling points of the RE engine was that like they could make a game in it, and then it was like it only took like 3 months, I think, to port it over to PSVR. Like it was supposed to facilitate that process. And so my question is like, man, why isn't Sony being like, dude, you know, license this thing out, man? Like let's help developers. Like why, you know, like let's throw the Forest into that. I know it's a totally different kind of game, but let's throw this into that. You know, like why can't we use that engine for like more things?
I mean, I guess if they built it from the ground up with that, like I would think taking a game that already exists like The Forest and then porting it to a whole different engine would be a huge pain in the ass.
Right. I really misspoke on that one. Like
Harder than porting it to VR. But
who knows? Maybe
yeah.
games now, maybe they are actually doing this, and like, you know, development cycles that began like a year ago are actually using that engine, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Iron Man was around for 3 years in development before we ever heard about it. So there's plenty of stuff in the cooker, I'm sure.
Absolutely. All right, is it Firewall time?
Let's talk some Firewall.
Let's talk some Firewall. I'm going to show that trailer again just so people are totally aware of what we're talking about. Dave, I think I feel like you might be the guy who knows
I've got
the
the
most about
strongest
this.
opinions, and I've been talking to people about it today, I think.
You
So
want to
basically,
detail everything about that?
I'll-
And
lay it
gonna
all
have
out there.
I'm gonna have to talk to you a little bit about that too, but I would love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so first, I'm not going to take a stance. I'm just going to tell you what it is. So on the 21st, they're adding this thing called Nightfall, which is a huge overhaul of like the UI of the game, and there's going to be new maps. And they're teasing some things that they haven't really revealed yet. Like it seems like there might be a new mode or some tweak to the gameplay. But there's also going to be a thing that comes with it, which is like a battle pass, where if you're familiar with Fortnite or Apex Legends or any of these free-to-play games,
Never heard of them.
the way that they monetize those games is they get you to buy a seasonal pass where like for this 6 to 8 weeks you pay $10 and then there's special challenges that get you stuff you can only get with the pass. So that's their format. They're basically going to say every few months there's a new season, you pay $10 to get in, and you have access to certain stuff that people won't get until the end of the season otherwise. So like those new 2 characters that are coming out, the new skills, all that stuff, you won't be able to get in any fashion unless you buy the season pass for $10 until the end of the season. And then I don't know if you'll have to pay money for it or if you just unlock it in the game or what. But that's the gist of it.
Dave, you're cutting
Did I-
out. Can you repeat the last thing you said? You're cutting out.
I was just asking if I missed anything.
Oh, okay.
What I'm curious, so when some of these DLCs came out, you know, we thought that obviously everything they've said from the beginning, everything is supposed to be cosmetic only. That yes, we're gonna have little microtransactions, yes, this and that, but it's all supposed to be cosmetic. when you mentioned the 2 contractors, you know, there was the first DLC that came out. I didn't buy that DLC, so I didn't have access to the contractors. However, I could use my in-game currency to buy the skill,
which
so
you will not be able to do now. So you
No,
cannot get the skill in any fashion. Brian, I don't know if you can pull up. There's like an image where they have these checkboxes on the left and right side.
I've seen that. Let me go find that.
Yeah, that's a good way to break it down visually. But yeah, so anything that's in the $10 pass, there is no way in game to unlock that until the season's done.
Okay.
I think. I mean, we can get into discussing it in a minute here, but is that all the details? I think that's pretty much it. 2 characters, 2 skills. It's a bunch of like cosmetic stuff as well, but I think the main thing that people might have an issue with is locking characters and skills behind a paywall.
Well, it's just one contractor, isn't it? And
Well, for now, I think the other one's coming later. I'm pretty sure.
Isn't the contractor
maybe that's the
that
map.
you just get more crypto, like you get crypto
Well,
from
so
down players, so it's like,
I think, but that's the thing. Like, they had to nerf that character so it didn't have an exciting skill, because everyone would have gotten really pissed if they were like, "What do you mean I got to pay more money for this game I already got to compete with people?"
But that's what they've been kind of doing. Is they've been kind of doing.
But then, what's the point of introducing those characters if they're basically useless anyways, and nobody really cares?
Just like to have everything, man.
Well, that's who they're targeting. That's who they're going to get money from.
Right.
I think any game that's not a free-to-play game that's adopting free-to-play methods of sustaining itself is already kind of getting the hairs on the back of my neck up a little bit. Like, I'm not into the idea of every few months Firewall saying, "Hey, pay us 10 more bucks." Especially because with Fortnite and Apex and any other game I'm familiar with that does this, you can earn enough in-game currency from the pass to purchase the next season pass. So if you buy one Fortnite season pass, you can, if you play it a bunch, the next one's free because you've already earned enough that you just pay for it in the game with that playtime and the currency. With this one, there is no method to do that. So you just got to spend $10 every few months to just stay on this train of like, you know, bullshit contractors that are barely even better than anybody else. And like, it just seems like a weird move to me for a game that people already bought.
Dave, help me. Wait, one second, man. Help me out real quick. Like, I'm looking at this list right now, and it's basically looking. Everybody gets the maps for free. You get the daily tasks for free. You get the 8 free mission rewards, and then there's like 8 premium mission rewards that you don't get unless you pay. 8 bonus mission rewards that you don't get unless you pay. 2 new contracts you don't get until you pay. 2 new skills. 2 legendary weapons skin. So it really looks like the skills. The two new skills and the 2 new contractors are the big things that you don't get if you don't pay.
Yeah.
But when the season's over, everybody gets those, right?
Well, I think you still have to unlock them somehow. You don't just get them dropped in your lap. So I don't know if what that means is they're going to be priced out separately as DLC the way they used to be, or if you'll be able to buy them with in-game currency. Because the previous characters that came out, I don't believe you could buy with in-game currency, right? Didn't you have to purchase them with money? Or am I wrong on that?
I don't.
No, you had to purchase the characters, but you could buy the skill.
The skill off of them. Okay, yeah, but so what I'm saying is, I assume that when the season's over, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, you can get the character if you pay us $2." Yeah. And so they're still skimming off the top. I think they're relying on people who are kind of like hardcore. I only play Firewall on my PSVR people,
and there's
who will buy any single thing. They will buy every single thing that they put out.
Yeah.
And I think they know that. And so this sounds exciting. Like, we're adding all this cool new stuff, but a lot of the stuff people have been asking for that they actually want, which is not a seasonal battle pass.
Yeah.
Nobody wants a seasonal battle pass. Yeah. People want them to fix the matchmaking system. They want them to add some spice to the game with maybe a different mode or something. Now, that might happen. It sounds like there might be a new mode. But people just want more maps, and we are getting maps, but that's not what they're charging for, so it doesn't really, doesn't enter into the discussion as much.
I think it's important to note something. Like, people in the chat, like Ryan Regan here says, when you buy Firewall, you're investing into them. If you don't like it, then don't invest. The people that do love it will invest more to help them grow.
When I buy a game, I'm not investing in the company. I bought a fucking
product.
game.
You bought a product,
and I'd like to. Yeah, right. Exactly.
I'm not saying he's wrong. And I'm also not saying he's wrong. I'm saying that if you love what somebody's doing, obviously, like we live and die on Patreon, right? So it's like, if you love what somebody's doing, absolutely go support them.
Well, of course, and that's who will buy the
Exactly.
season pass.
But that's, and I don't see any problem with that though. Like, you know, giving for the people that just love the game, that want to support the game more, you know, giving that option. Now, don't get me wrong, microtransactions.
I feel like you shouldn't be focusing on milking the people who already like your game. You should be focusing on people who bought your game and are still dissatisfied with aspects of it, but want to love it.
Well,
And they're not really fixing any of that stuff. They're just saying, hey, look at this shiny new skin. Look at this new legendary gun, golden gun skin. It doesn't get to the root of the issue.
We don't know if they're ignoring that. Like that, I feel like they're just obvious. There's no way in hell First Contact is just ignoring everybody that has having server issues. There's no way, man. I mean,
their company line has basically been one of two things: we hear you, and not we're working on it, but we hear you, and that's it. That's line A.
Yeah.
And then line B is something along the lines of like, well, that's not in our vision of the game, and it wouldn't work that way. Like with rounds, when rounds come up, the CEO on Reddit was saying like, no, that wouldn't work. That's not the way the game's, or like revives or something like that. Like things that people ask for, a lot of the times they're just like, no, that's not in our vision, so that will never be a thing.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard much otherwise to any question other than when they actually announce, hey, we're doing something. But
so let me make this clear. I don't really care about the, you know, having the microtransactions for just cosmetic stuff. I do care about them focusing on that versus fixing the big issues first. That I completely agree with. And, you know, I don't know, it would be nice for them to be a little bit more transparent on the issue instead of being like, well, we might have something, just you stay,
exactly.
you stay tuned, you know,
stay on the hook there. And in the meantime, give us $10.
Exactly. Like, just come out and say it. Be like, shit, we can't do it, or we need more time, or whatever. Like, it's gonna take a while. Whatever it is, just come out and say it. You don't have to be. It's not cute and it's not funny. Like, people are frustrated. And they
because it is such a good game, but a lot of the time the game keeps you from playing itself. But
also
want to be there.
But like, also keep in mind that these are the same guys who are saying, well, there's a reason that we make you wait all that time in the lobby. It's so you don't get motion sickness. I'm like,
my God.
I mean, if you want to talk about some corporate bullshit, that is corporate bullshit to the max.
I've never heard that before.
That's straight from Hess's mouth.
Response.
Wow.
Yeah, he has said that very publicly on Reddit actually. So he's like if you don't think there's a reason you're not getting sick, it's because we thought about that ahead of time. And I'm like, I don't think that's it.
Wow.
If you guys can find it, it's very illustrative to look at. It made the rounds on Reddit and stuff. There was a comment in the Firewall 0 Hour subreddit that the CEO, Hess Barber, responded to. Yeah. And it was this big, long, like, wall of text where he basically told the guy, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Pretty much, just straight up. And so, you know, I don't know how their approach to feedback is overall. Like, that's what I worry about.
Also, I'm interviewing First Contact this week, so
oh, nice.
We will
tell them not to watch this video.
I was gonna say
I'm pretty sure the Sony PR guy is gonna be like, you can't talk about that, and you can't talk about that, and you can't talk about that, and so it's so if everything seems a little bit nerfed, then you'll know why.
We got Miles Dyer in the chat who actually is reinforcing what we were just talking about. He says, I can't wait for the DLC. I just hope they fix the server issues. I asked the devs about it, and they responded with, big update in the works, smiley. Right. So maybe. What that means is not necessarily maybe.
Right.
They're just, you know, they're leading people along.
Right.
Now, Kev, let's keep it professional here, man. I don't want to call anybody names. They have a certain way that they have to deal with masses of people. Yeah. And, you know, I don't think
they could have a better way of dealing with it.
Of course. I mean, it's silly to think that we're going to buy that bullshit. But at the same time, you know, I don't want to, it's not worth retaliating. It's a video game, you know. I do think we need to get the point across. It's important that the game works. I actually think the game is more broken. It's not broken, but it has more issues than when it started. It had issues at launch. They got it fixed. They tried some new things, and now there's other issues that have happened. And so I had like a hiatus from Firewall for a couple months and didn't know all the issues that were going on. And you know, I jumped in recently, and I'm like, these are all new issues that I've never seen before, and I can see a lot of the hardcore people that spend day in day out in that game getting really frustrated with that.
I love Duran fan, man. That was like my
I
favorite.
was just that made me crack up.
When I
That's so
saw you
fucking
laugh,
good.
I knew you were reading the chat.
Yeah. Nice job, Duran. Can I tip Duran?
Yeah,
while I'm in here.
There's got to be some way to do that.
If I super chat it, you send him the money. Anyways, I'll be right back. I gotta let my cat in. I think it started raining. He's like,
All right.
yeah.
While Dave Station is bringing his cat in from the rain, let's loop in our guest host. We've never had 4 people on this, so I have no idea how this is going to go. Just give me 1 second here, and I'll do my absolute best to not screw it up. Not exactly my forte, if you guys know me.
Carlos, can you say hello?
In Kev Gret's defense, I don't know everything that he said. I don't keep up with it. So, you know, I understand. But I just like, you know, I like to keep it civil if I can. But sometimes it's warranted to call people out. So who knows?
Oh, no. I did not expect it to be a quadrant.
Oh, I know who it is now.
Yeah, you did.
Awesome.
Oh, there he is.
Yo, Jeremy, what's up, man?
What's up going on, guys? It's like 4.
Yeah, no, it changed.
Yeah,
Are you going to have to adjust the OBS now?
We're the Brady Bunch now.
Right? It's like, yeah, this way. I got to push you out of the square.
This is so
I can-
strange.
I can see up his shirt.
Hold on a second here. I'm not
What's up, Killatrix?
I'm not seeing animation on the video. It looks like we're all four of us are frozen.
Yeah, we are frozen. That is correct.
Are we frozen?
Oh, really?
Oh,
I'm nice and everybody's moving and fluid
in
like.
real life, we're fine. Maybe kill that layer and turn it back on or something. Like turn it off and back on.
Yeah, maybe. Let's find that out here real quick.
I think we can probably ditch the titles underneath our names now too.
Yeah, well, once we get everybody working, that's certainly. Oh, now we're all gone.
Oh, we're going. No, we're moving.
Oh,
now.
yeah,
Oh, for a brief moment we were.
Give me a second here, guys. Give me a second. I gotta play with OBS because OBS hates me.
oh, I thought you were gonna play with something else.
But I
Guys,
totally-
All right. Well, we officially broke it.
let us know, guys, if you can hear what we're saying, even though the audio or even though the video.
They can hear us, man. That's
Okay.
Let me see
absolutely.
what happens. What if I leave and come back?
We're going. No, we're moving.
Well,
Oh, for a
let me lower that volume
No,
here.
It's not working.
I don't
at
like
all.
hearing my own voice.
So yeah, AJ, yeah, drop out and see what happens.
Anything?
One
You're
second.
still there. No, you're still there.
Oh, I dropped it.
I can see you. I see your face.
Do nothing like. There we go.
Do you want me to drop out? You call me back or something?
Nope. Stay right there. Stay right
I'm
there.
gonna try.
Gotta work
All
on
right.
this here.
Did I ever tell the story of the Turtle Beach headset on the show? Like, this is the headset.
I think this would be a good time to retell the story, even if you had, because
Yeah.
we're working through the
Yeah, we have no video right now, so you might as well talk.
All right. Well,
Keep them entertained.
so one day I was getting to work when I was managing one of the Game Stops, and we used to have.
Jeremy, real quick.
Yes.
Can you turn down just a bit, man? You're maxing out over here. Turn down your audio just a bit. We had to turn up for AJ, and then and so we had to. So your
All right, tell me.
audio is really loud.
How is it sounding now? Hello, hello, hello. Is it any quieter?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah.
Keep going, keep going, keep going.
Keep going.
Am I-
Keep going. Keep
Yeah,
going,
yeah,
keep
yeah.
going, keep going,
Hello.
keep going,
Quiet,
keep
quiet,
going,
quiet,
keep
quiet.
going, keep going,
Any
keep
more?
going, Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
That sounds about right to me.
It might.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Then by all means, keep going. All right. I'll try to fix this.
I'll go to 10. It's at 10% on my
Yeah,
end.
mine's at like 14% or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, AJ, we can hear you.
Floor is the king.
So story about what? Turtle Beach?
Yeah, so the GameStop I had first managed was in a mall. Brian, you know, that's where we met.
Right.
So anyhow, there used to be thieves that lived in the city, of course, and they used to steal and shoplift and then trade them in at our store. And we could not accuse them, even though we clearly knew what was happening. So we were supposed to report it to security. Blah, blah, blah. Security never seemed to give a shit. Best Buy was like, oh, well, you know, just smack a loss. And so we were supposed to take them in trade and just do our job. So one day I got to work, headsets we only could take in under a generic SKU, which we'd give $1.50 for, and then only charge $3. So somebody apparently, when I wasn't there, brought in a stolen pair of Turtle Beach headset, brand fucking new, just out of the package, but everything corded up and bundled beautiful, $3. So I bought them, and like I'm telling you, maybe like 12 years later, or 10 years, I don't know. Here they are, right in my fucking head, still working. $3. Oh, we got video now. We back
Nice
up.
work.
We
Yeah,
do.
we're on.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think right as the story ended.
Just in time to see.
Perfect timing.
Yeah,
The heads-
I swear I
headset.
learn something new about OBS every single day, and then every following day I forget it. So it's too many drugs, man. It took way too many drugs in college, and then for the following 20 years. So
I
Yeah,
think
at
they
least
say
you
we
stopped.
retain less nowadays than we even used to. Our
Dude,
brain, so you
I-
shed most of what you learn.
I don't retain anything anymore. I haven't retained any knowledge for like literally 2 decades.
I don't ever think I'm retaining shit until the most useless shit is happening. I could be eating somewhere and I hear somebody be like, "What was that actor in that movie with that lady that ran down the hall?" And I'll be like, "Oh," and I know it.
He's
You know?
been on Gamescast Live for all of 3 minutes, and we're already talking about movies.
Back
Hey,
to the
man,
topic.
That's why we got Jeremy on here, right?
So for anybody who doesn't know, this is the face, because trust me, guys, there are new people walking through the Without Parole door every single day. So you might hear Jeremy's voice on every single Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern when he does his Resident
Ish.
Evil live stream. Ish. It's like, but you don't know what he looks like until now. That's the dude right above me. Dun 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 dun. dun. Here's a story.
I'm above you.
In this
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
I'm
confusing
above
when you look at Discord, man. But
Yeah.
it's funny because all the guys with the beanies are on the top row.
That's true.
All the guys with the beanies. So, and all the guys with the baseball caps are in the bottom right-hand corner. And all the guys with the
Oh,
fresh
yeah.
haircut are in the bottom left-hand corner.
What can I say?
Nice. Wacky.
So the reason Jeremy's on the show is A, because we missed him dearly. Welcome back, Jeremy.
Thank you. I've missed everybody as well.
It's good to be on a show with you for one. I've never actually
I know,
been in the same
David.
space as you.
I know.
I know it
We share a
doesn't.
square.
I know it doesn't seem like we test things ahead of time, but we actually do. And so Jeremy and I tested out, making sure that everything worked last night. And man, like we just sat there and like shot the shit for like 10 minutes just because like I haven't actually seen Jeremy in real life in like what, a month?
It's since the last recording. Yeah.
So
And it seems like a blink of an eye too.
yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
but I still feel like we're hanging out because I do watch your stream every single week. So there's that.
Nice. And I hear your voice continuously. All of you guys, actually. I can't really see it half the time because sometimes I'm at, work and, driving and can't be watching the video while I drive.
Yeah.
So I listen.
But the reason we wanted to bring you on, man, other than the fact we missed you, is because you finally completed your Resident Evil live stream. It took like what?
Holy shit.
Was it 15 weeks? Is that how long it took?
I'm thinking 15, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was 15.
Nice work, man. Congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. I couldn't have done it. AJ, my God. My Geppetto, not Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket.
You're the man who created me.
Yeah.
No, there was actually lots of people that jumped in that.
Oh, so
they
many.
were like, I just beat this game. I just got the platinum. You got to go here. So it wasn't just me. It was me. It was Nick Mulo.
Nick,
A lot of people coming in from the chat that
Yeah.
just were stopping by like, hey, somebody's playing. So really great job, everybody. It was collective.
It was awesome.
Well, so the thing about that though is like, they helped you through it because everybody was helping you out. But I feel like when you're in a streaming capacity, that probably took you 5 hours longer than it would have if you were just sitting there by yourself playing it, because you're talking to everybody and they tell you one thing and it's like 30 seconds late and you're already dead at that point. And shit.
I'm very easily distracted when there's not like text in front of my face, So yeah, there was a lot of reading, and then it used to crack me up. People definitely would egg me on to try to maybe talk and get off topic of something.
Oh yeah,
But,
no, that's
Because
part of
it
the
takes
fun,
so much work to get you off topic.
That's-
It's like, oh, twist my arm. Oh, Jesus. No, but Jeremy, I'm actually going to disagree. I'm going to disagree, I think, with Dave, who just said it. I think if you played Resident Evil 7 on your own, it would have taken you twice as long because you got so much help every week from like Nick,
Oh my God.
Nick Mulo and everybody else
Yeah.
in the chat. Man, like everybody was helping you to the point where like I've played this game 2.5 times and they were helping you way more than I could have. So thank
Oh,
God
man.
for the game cats.
Nick helping me with everything where I could like my combos and my inventory. recipes or whatever the fuck.
Just heads up, Miles Dyer in the chat says there aren't going to be any spoilers, and so no, we want to keep this spoiler free.
No spoilers.
But I feel like we can still talk about like Resident Evil 7 almost in its entirety without talking about the story.
Absolutely.
Or about any spoiler points. And
the other thing is, Miles, go play that shit. What are you waiting for, man?
Yeah, what are you doing?
It's been out for a long time, man. Go get it.
Yeah.
There's like 2 people left, and one just finished it. You're like, that's it. You're done. Everybody else has already done it.
It's only him.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning, man. I kind of want to hear the Resident Evil 7 story. I think it was my fault that you had to do this. I was like, because you were like, you wanted to have a bigger part on the channel. You want to like show, like that you were like committed to doing this and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, dude, then like do a weekly live stream. Like that's the easiest thing to do on the channel. And I was like, in Resident Evil 7 is the best of the best. So what was it?
Yep.
Was it me that basically decided for you to do this?
Yes,
15 weeks?
Because I wanted to do more. Didn't know what to do. And you're like, why don't you live stream Resident Evil 7?
Yeah.
How about a night that you're free? And we figured out a night. And so, it was like, okay, and I dove in and committed. And it was great. I had a great time every time. And the nights I couldn't make it, I was bummed. And the awesome thing about it with streaming and having everybody, watch was that, it didn't feel like a single player game, it felt very much like a social type of a game. And so as I'm playing it, like, everybody's there talking, chatting, talking about things going on in the game. Oh, wait till he gets around the corner with this. And I briefly see that. And I'm like, oh, what did they just fucking say? And then I go around the corner and I'd be scared shitless or something. And it was just, it was fun. Like, it was just fun to go jump on, have everybody, come in, comment. And I definitely wouldn't have finished it on my own, because of my attention span or, I just don't think I would have committed, but felt like I'd be letting the stream down if I didn't make it. So it kept me going, and I'm glad I finished it.
Shout out to Miles Dyer for the tip, guys.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure that doesn't go over like. Thank you so much, Miles.
Thank you.
So, dude, like you actually had there were moments in that game where I was watching and I was like, well, the next hour is going to be you dying over and over trying to beat this particular spot, because I really struggled with certain parts of Resident Evil 7. Like I struggled with, I think I struggled with at least 2 or 3 of the bosses, and like watching your stream. Which, again, we are not spoiling anything.
It's not a spoiler. The part where you're in the pit.
The part where you're in the pit.
And there's someone above you.
Oh.
You know what I'm...
Once or twice.
So many times.
Okay.
I had trouble with that part.
Yeah, I'm gonna say every time you run into Jack, let's just say that without being detailed about it. I had major issues, and to the point where, like, my first playthrough, I was like, I love this game so much. But man, these bosses almost killed it for me, and so it's definitely one of those things where it's more
tricky.
The more you play it, the better you get, obviously. But man, you didn't struggle nearly as much as I did, and I was totally shocked every single time I saw you fight a boss in like 2, 3 tries, and you got it. Like I was pretty impressed.
He's just better than you at video games.
Everyone's better than me at video games. That's the corporate line, man. That's the corporate line.
Well, surprisingly, like when I actually used to have time to play games, I was all right. And I've gotten lazy. Like, I mean, thank RPGs for that. So as, life progressed, I started to really like the turn-based combat, sitting with my controller and be like, I'd fall asleep. I could wake up 2 hours later and make my selection. Because then the whole fast-paced multiplayer type of thing, where we used to jump on and play Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, Unreal, yeah, all that stuff. It was great. We had a blast. Ghost Recon, Ghost Recon 2, when that was fun, awesome. But you need to have like energy and alertness. And as I just got older, I didn't want to waste it on a couch, So RPGs.
Like Sekiro and shit like that. Like I love the whole design of Sekiro, and it's a fun game.
Yeah.
But it takes so much effort, and you really have to like dedicate yourself to getting really good to even play it.
Yeah, it's a waste of money.
Like a third of the way through tops, and I'll probably never get farther.
Yeah,
I'm not upset I bought it, but yeah, there are games like that.
Here's my question, Dave. Since we're getting a little off topic, if Sekiro was in VR, do you think you'd spend more time with it and like commit yourself to getting better at it?
That's a hard one because it's just down to the mechanics.
is the right answer. Dave.
Maybe. For me, it wasn't that it was flat screen. It was just that it was kind of like the core mechanics of the game are designed in a way where I am not going to dedicate myself as much as they require me to.
Get good.
Just no matter what. Yeah, I'm not going to spend time getting good. Like, I beat some bosses I never thought I'd beat, but then after that, they gave even harder bosses to me. Jesus Christ, like, what am I supposed to do about this? I love the stealth sections when you're like Tenchuing around and like sneaking up on guys. And
yeah, it looks a lot like Tenchu. I've never played it, but videos and
that's why I bought it, honestly, because I always loved Tenchu.
Yeah.
And so there's no like modern successor really. Like Mark of the Ninja is really good, but it's 2D. It's like flat screen, like side scrolling.
All right.
Yeah, I've missed out on a couple really good flat screen games with all the VR stuff. Just like I said, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil 2, and Sekiro. If I could play like anything that wasn't VR right now, it'd be those three for sure.
Yeah, I missed out on everything, man. Like I didn't play God of War, I didn't play Spider-Man, I didn't play Resident Evil 2 remake. Like that should have been my jam.
All these games.
Yeah,
dude, I know you have a lot of put out and you got a lot of stuff to do. Let AJ do it all. You gotta play some flat screen games. Dude, you gotta do some flat screen games.
The last time I got out of bed and didn't immediately do something for the channel that lasted 10 hours straight was this past Mother's Day weekend when I had to go to the restaurant and work 2 days straight. Other than that, man, I get out of bed and the first thing is, what do I have to do for Without Parole today? Yeah. And it's certainly not play non-VR games.
The Vita doesn't count either, Brian.
So I see playing games that I want to play on flat screen as for the channel, because even though I'm not streaming it, it's keeping my peace of mind where I don't feel like I'm always having to play a VR game just because it's a new VR game. Like, I don't want to be playing Bartender VR over, the games that I'm playing on flat screen right now, because I just don't want to do
like
that.
And I'll go work on a platinum or something,
I like to keep it flexible still. I don't know. That's why I have such a lazy YouTube channel. I post shit whenever I feel like.
I'm so jealous.
That's why you're like the best channel, because you actually do shit.
Yeah. That being said, expect a Bartender VR review tomorrow.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Jeremy?
I was gonna say I did a Redbox rental of Days Gone to give it a shot because I definitely wasn't buying it. I wanted to check it out.
Nice.
And I was at the Redbox. I'm like, fuck it. So I rented it, and I played it very late one night, and I can't be so critical on it as a lot of the critics were saying. It's like I thought it was pretty fun.
I've heard actual people who bought it and have been playing it say that it's nothing gonna blow your socks off.
No.
Like at this point, it's pretty much just like a standard, acceptable AAA polished game.
Yeah.
That you might be into if you like shooting hordes of zombies, which a lot of people like doing. Like I've been playing World War Z, same shit. It's like it doesn't have to be the next Horizon Zero Dawn or something like that just to be a worthwhile game.
Yeah, dude, I played Dead Island like from start to finish. Like I almost didn't stop that game once I started, and it's not super polished or anything, but man,
it's like mixed reviews and shit.
But dude, Dead Island was like one of my favorite games of last generation because it was just so much fun, even though it wasn't terribly polished. And Days Gone absolutely would have been right up my alley if it was in VR. Like if I wasn't running a PlayStation VR YouTube channel, I would have stopped everything and played Days Gone from start to finish, just like I did with Dead Island. Yeah.
I would be trying to get you to buy a Switch Taiko drum so you could play Taiko no Tatsujin. Because I've been playing so much Taiko no Tatsujin, man.
I think I need to sell my Switch. I keep buying Switch games like I buy books, like I'm gonna read them.
Oh, really? I haven't bought one since I don't even know. It's poor thing sitting over there. Still.
Well, I traded in a bunch of stuff at like old consoles that I didn't have room for and stuff anymore, and they had the drum, and I was like, I've always wanted to play that Taiko game at home because I've seen it in arcades. If you guys don't know, it's like a rhythm game where there's a big Taiko drum and you hit it to the beat. I always love rhythm games, and it's a cool, like, even though it's not VR, having that peripheral that sort of represents the thing you're doing in real life still feels like more immersive than a regular game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still hitting a drum, so it feels cool. But anyway.
I was never a Guitar Hero. I could never
There's too much shit for guitar. You need like 8 things to play Guitar Hero. Or I guess that's Rock Band. That's Rock Band. I'm sorry, never mind.
They all blend together to me.
That's why I love Beat Saber so much, because I was so freaking bad at Guitar Hero, because I can actually play guitar, and it's not like you have to basically
It's like
I
drums.
this
kid-
guitar.
I
this
can play
kid
drums.
Best
I
Buy-
cannot play those
This
rhythm
kid
games with
Best Buy
drums.
schooled
No,
me at
but-
fucking
All right,
Guitar Hero.
wait, guys, time out. When AJ is talking,
We're
we
all
gotta be
talking.
we gotta be
We can't
super conscious not talk over him because he's really quiet. So when AJ is talking, man, do not talk over him.
All right, yeah,
It
sorry,
sounds
but-
horrible.
No, but I do agree with them though. Like I was terrible at Guitar Hero, and I do play drums as well. And Beat Saber, what I love about it is being able to play drums doesn't affect it. Actually, I think makes you better at Beat Saber because the way the rhythm is, it's just the timing is and everything. So
Yeah.
You got to
Just
play
wanna throw
Taiko
that-
no Tatsujin, man.
AJ, lefty or righty?
Righty.
Righty.
I'll
I
be right
learned
back.
for a year on a righty, and then afterwards I retaught myself lefty because I started to want to use my hi hat and get all slick and shit. John Densmore,
Yeah. You
Doors
play,
drummer.
You can play Beat Saber traditional style.
I played a little bit of Beat Saber at Prize one time, and I gotta say, I think if I was here alone doing it, I could definitely get way more into it. You know, there I was like, is he watching me right now? Is he watching me? You know,
What I gotta get I think AJ's perspective on this one, and then Dave whenever he returns from the great unknown. Box VR. We started talking about at the beginning of the show. It's like I remember when we first started talking about Box VR a few weeks back. Dave was like, "We got to be really careful not to start like looping every single rhythm game into like a Beat Saber clone. Like that's not really the way that's not really the way all these things actually operate. But like Box VR seems more like a Beat Saber clone than anything else I've ever seen, and I'm curious to know what his thoughts are now that he's spent more time with it. And I think and now that he's back, I don't think he heard any of that. Did you hear any of that, Dave? He didn't hear any of that.
Real quick, tax refund. I noted the last couple things you asked, and I've got that written down. So I'll get back to you ASAP.
Nice. Dave, real quick, man. You
up?
said you've been spending daily time with Box VR. Is that right?
I'm trying to. That's like any exercise routine I would attempt. Where
What-
it's like, I want to do it every day. I think I should do it every day, and then I actually. But
Your thoughts on the
semi-regular.
what do you how's the tracking now that you've
Well, so the thing is, for me, the tracking isn't so much an issue because, like, in Beat Saber, I get pissed because I don't want to miss a block. I want the high score. I want to get not like leaderboard type shit. I'm not that competitive, but like, I just want to get through a song and feel like I hit most of them the right way.
Yeah.
With Box VR, I feel like the point is to exercise. So if I swing and it doesn't register, I still move my hand.
right?
I'm still exercising. So like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything by the tracking. It's not even the tracking. It's just
Well,
like the hit detection is weird.
Yeah.
You gotta hit
takes
the
away
one
from the
exact
fun,
spot.
Though. That takes away from the fun part of it though. When it's not.
Well,
working
it's still
the way
more
it
fun than
should.
regular exercising. That's all I'm saying.
I was
Maybe.
just curious because I was trying to do the same thing. I was trying to play it every single day. The other night I basically did like 10 workouts in a row just to try to like push through some of the campaign or whatever you want to call it. And that was super frustrating because like even when I was like, okay, like now I'm into the rhythm and I know like which exactly when I should be hitting the target. Sometimes I would just whip right through it. I'm like, no, I absolutely hit that one.
Well, I started figuring out the timing. You got to go a little early, and you have to hit that white
Yeah.
circle.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't hit the big orb around it.
Did you?
You have to go directly into that little white circle.
And once you
or else
figured
it's
that
not
out, was it flawless or no?
It's right.
not flawless, but it's as
Right into
reliable as most tracking.
Oh, okay.
No,
Like
and then
once you
I-
figure out how they're tracking you doing it, like how they register a hit, you can get a good handle on it.
I will say too, like you have to when it's got the rings, like when you have to do a hook or something or an uppercut, you do have to like reach back a little bit before you swing. Like you do have to. If you just like have your hand right next to it and just try to hit it, it's not going to work. They actually require you to pull back and then swing. So that's another thing that kind of throws it off a little bit sometimes.
Interesting.
But it works.
Cool. I got to ask Jeremy since he's here. Did you take my advice and download the Everybody's Golf demo?
I did.
Ooh.
It's funny. I just
Ooh.
popped into my head, and I said, "Well, you're not there. You're."
Did you play it though? That's the
I
thing.
did. So
That was a smart question, Dave. I didn't think about
it
that.
was a smart. Yes,
Yeah.
you know me better than I know myself.
Everybody knows you better than you know yourself.
So I played it. I did play it.
Mhm.
So last night, after Brian's like, "Did you try everybody's golf?" I'm like, I'm gonna try it now. So I played it, but my apartment's undergoing I just was changing things around, starting to organize wires, blah, blah, blah. So I disconnected the PS camera, and then I plugged it back in after I turned the PlayStation on last night. So I'm like, this ain't going to work, but I'm going to try it anyways. So I played the game for a few moments, and it definitely was glitching out. So I restarted it, and then as I was playing it, it still needed to recalibrate. So I played it, and it seems like a fun, enjoyable game, and I definitely want to play more. But it wouldn't let me actually feel like I was on, like, the club was where it should be.
Did you do the height adjustment thing?
I did, yeah. In relation to my body, my hands extended. That controller was going like this and would not register the orb.
Interesting.
I've seen other people have that issue too. Like Ryan from VR Grid was having the same thing. I was watching him stream, and he missed like 7 out of 8 shots. Wow. And I was like, dude, I hit every shot I tried to make.
Yeah.
So I mean, it might just be something about like maybe individual tracking setups, or maybe just the way you think you have to approach it is different for different people coming into it for the first time. And so you have a certain idea of like where you need to hold it, and somebody else might have a different idea. So I'm
just thinking, I think maybe the setup I have now here is a little too high, although for Resident Evil, after I did the switch and set up to the way it is now, the tracking on that game was perfect. You know, it changed.
Well,
remember,
so
I was
like no motion tracking there. I mean, your head, but like the motion, there's no controller tracking for Resident Evil, so it shouldn't affect it.
That's true, though. Yeah, that's true. Maybe it is too high. It's perfect for the headset, but a little too low for the control. Too high for the controller where I'd be standing, and it's below where it can, that range where it can view. I don't know.
Just go into there's like a settings thing where you can fuck around like looking at yourself in the camera. It's like confirm your position, I think. Just like keep adjusting it up and down, and then see where it see your holding. And like if you know you got it down or some shit, like try it.
Yeah. But yes, I did try it, and I will try more because I wanted to let's just say play the game. And the fucking controller, I was wrestling with tracking on the controller more than I was actually able to play it. And by that point, it was like almost 1 a.m, and I went to bed.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I got the video for everybody disappeared, and I am working on it. So if anybody in the chat,
again,
everything's being held together with duct tape and shoestring around here. So you know how this works.
It's MacGyver. Yeah, where is MacGyver?
Pretty much. So
Funny story about. Wait, where did
we just lost Jeremy, guys?
Well, I'll go ahead and while he comes back, I'll tell you a story about MacGyver. When they pulled the MacGyver show off of what was it, like USA? Actually, Jeremy might want to hear this one. So, let's see.
Hey, can you guys hear me? It just
I
lost.
can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. We can't see you yet, but there you are. You're back. You're back.
It just just crashed.
About MacGyver, when they pulled that show off of USA, my brother like wrote this like really sad letter to them saying like, I watch it every day. Please don't do it. And he like begged them to bring it back.
Do you think Richard Dean Anderson has that letter on his fridge?
One person wrote in about this.
It was like the saddest, most pitiful letter I've ever seen, but it was really hard. He was just like, things are going rough right now, and this is all that I have to look forward to at the end of the day.
Wow. Yeah. They must have been like, yeah, sorry. Sorry, kid.
Your mental health is not our concern. Sorry.
Yeah, our ratings are more of a concern. Jeez. My buddy had to be dragged off the street by police when Kurt Cobain killed himself.
Holy shit.
No.
Yeah. He's like, no. No, I mean, I was like there. I'm like, wow. I don't want to say his name, but it's not like he watches.
Dude, anyways, when Kurt Cobain killed himself, how old? I mean, I was like, what?
He was murdered.
Dude,
anyways,
shit.
Please.
Are we going to talk about that?
No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. But because there are good documentaries that basically tell the story for us. We don't need to have the conversation here. But
have you watched
it soaked in bleach?
Oh, I've watched all of them. I was the biggest Kurt Cobain fan there was.
Aliens.
Do you like Beat Happening? Are you into Beat Happening?
Into Beat Happening?
What's Beat Happening?
Beat Happening was like Kurt Cobain's favorite band.
I thought that was the Melvins.
He liked the Melvins. He liked all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
But Beat Happening was a big one too.
Nice. This is what happens when we add Jeremy to the show.
Yeah, sorry.
And so here's the thing, man. You're on the show, and
Yes.
and I was hoping against hope that maybe you'd made a decision about where your weekly live streams are going to go. Like everyone's curious about what you're going to start streaming every single Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if
I do. I see. I had it down to 3 choices in my head.
number one.
I'm wondering if number 1. All right. I know everybody's saying the persistence, but after you suggested looking at Red Matter, I'm kind of digging Red Matter as my number 1
You'll be able to do
choice.
that
That's
in
awesome.
like 1 or
That's
2
a
nights.
Number 2 would be the persistence.
Persistence you can play as a weekly thing. Red Matter is a short game.
Yeah, Red Matter
2
might be nice
hours.
for like just like everyone was saying, a palate cleanser. You know, like you can something you can
Yeah.
do pretty quick, and then when you're ready to dive back into another big epic game, like the persistence will last you another 15 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
and by the way, Red Matter's an amazing game.
Sweet.
And it's
Oh,
also
yeah,
on
I wasn't
sale
trying
right
to
now.
say it's a bad game. It's a great game.
Yeah, it belonged in our top 20 list. It was in my last top 20 list. I think I brought it to the
should have
table.
been there. I don't know how it didn't get on the top 20. I have
There
no
are
idea.
so many games that should be in the top 20 that
Yeah.
didn't end up there.
That was a crazy
That
list,
means
man.
there's too many games
Yeah.
that are good.
Next
Honestly,
time,
That's not a problem.
top 50 list.
Hey, look at
We'll
that.
be here for 7 hours.
Do you see this?
Sure, I get time.
Look at. I didn't hang it up yet.
Did you get a painting?
Look at. See that thing?
Is that a Monet?
I don't know what it is. No, it's not.
Okay.
You can't really see. So it's like I never planned on buying a painting. But it was
Is a real
fucking
painting or
at one of
print?
those like savers, like one of those secondhand kind of stores. I went in looking to see if that some shelves, and I'm like, I saw that, and I'm like, it would add a little bit of brightness into my living room. It's fucking
Yeah.
$20.
Can you send it to Atlanta so we can get some background behind AJ? White.
Yeah.
That is the white.
Yeah, I've got a painting back here too. If I
Yeah,
move.
that might be the whitest wall in history.
Right? It's like Morpheus forgot to load the program, and then Neo's just leaving there, like,
It's called Bone White.
We need Jeremy just to
Oh, nice.
roast people.
But anyways, so I'm gonna hang that. I just haven't found a spot for it yet. That's why it's kind of like there in the corner next to one of the couches. Even though I'm sofa king, I don't know. I don't sit on my couch as much.
I think you should hang the painting right between those 2 doors, man. Screw accessibility. Just
Right?
Right Pop has a good point. He says, so what's the third game?
yeah. What is
Oh,
the third
good
game?
call. What is it?
So Gone Home, I have it. It's over there in
Huh.
Did you
cellophane.
say
Yeah.
Gone Home?
Yeah.
And
It's on
So I-
VR though.
Huh?
It's
Oh
not
wait, no,
VR.
not Gone Home. What the fuck is he?
Home Sweet Home.
Home Sweet Home.
You're gonna be getting into a whole nother Resident Evil scenario again,
Yeah.
because that game is just a scary lady chasing you around.
And
Well,
it-
that's
Blood coming
it.
out of the walls. There's like
Yeah.
blood portals and shit. It's crazy. Like,
So
Otherwise, it's
thinking-
great.
oh
we
yeah, but I
thinking
mean, if you want to keep
Red
doing
Matter?
a scary game for the rest of your life, yeah, play.
yeah, I don't think I want to. I mean, I do want to get back to it, but so I'm thinking Red Matter then is the decision.
I
Red
think
Matter.
everyone
I think
will
Red
be
Matter
more
is a
happy
good
with that.
stopgap because
Yeah.
it'll take you 1 or 2 weeks. To get
3 or 4 weeks. I think 4 hours is
4
pretty much where that's at.
No,
Is it
it'll-
4 hours? I thought it was shorter.
It's like 4 or 5 hours. It took me 5 hours.
It took me
Gone
4.
Back
I thought it
to
was
Gone
I thought it was
Home.
like shorter than
That
that.
game took me like 7 months to beat.
Gone Home is
No.
like a 3-hour game.
Yeah, at the most.
Well,
Alan
if it-
Wake, one of my favorites, although I savored that over a year and a half. Alan Wake, I would play it like I would do one chapter every month or so. And I mean, like I would drag the chapter out. Like I fucking loved that game, Alan Wake. Great game.
It is a great game, man.
Yeah.
Anyhow. All right.
So besides Everybody's Golf and Resident Evil 7 and whatever you're playing next, what was the last VR game you played that was just because you felt like it?
Oh God, what was it? No, it wasn't Wipeout. Actually, it was me
That
and
would be
Mikey. We downloaded. I downloaded Wipeout so we could jump in and play, but we ended up doing Rec
Rec
Room.
Room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I actually had a good time because I've only done Rec Room a few times and I've only done a few things in Rec Room. So every
Oh,
time
there's
we
so much
jumped
shit to
on
do
just
in
to
there.
do it, it's wicked fun, just to talk and be stupid while you do stupid shit in in an awesome, crazy virtual reality atmosphere. It's 2019. Brian, I was in the shower and I was like, Siri, text Brian. And I'm like, I'll be on in 3 minutes. I mean, I couldn't do that 10 years ago, you know?
Also, that's so disturbing. Please don't ever do that while you're in the shower.
He's always texting you from the shower. That's the only place he ever texts you.
Usually it's
It's
clumps
when he
of
thinks.
letters
It's when
at
he
once,
thinks
though.
of you.
It's usually Snapchat.
He thinks
He's always sending me snaps that I have to ignore because I'm like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be like his kids or something, and then I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm 40 and I don't have children, and then I cry and I go to bed and I eat pizza and I wake up with cheese on my face and I'm like, it's all Jeremy's fault. Fuck that. So
No, it's usually just a bunch of photos after another of all of my goodness. Anyways, I'm not going to get into it. I don't know what rating this show gets.
hey, has Rec Room not implemented their microtransactions? Miles Dyer was asking how they make money.
Not on PSVR. I actually was going to respond to him in text, but I can respond in.
Yeah, it's going to happen any
Right,
second
close.
now, right? Like any time now, kind of
Well,
thing.
Maybe. But the main thing is pretty much that Rec Room is a company that got an initial seed fund of like $5 million from all these investment companies to basically get something onto everybody's headset that's free and fun to play, and you can do all kinds of stuff in it. And then later on down the road, monetize it. Once everybody treats it like air and water, then you throw a few bucks in there and people will pay for it. And so I think that's really what they're going to do. They're going to have some cosmetic microtransactions. I don't think they'll lock any like quests or gameplay stuff behind that, but it'll just be sort of like if you want to pay for it. And there's so many people who have Rec Room. It's probably the most installed game right now because it's free on every headset.
Until No Man's Sky comes out, and then it'll be the most
yeah.
installed game.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Craziness. Who doesn't look
So
40?
yeah, that's why it's free.
Samuel Thompson says you don't look 40. Who's 40? Does anybody?
I tell you, I'm 56.
41. You're 40, Dave?
No, I'm 32.
AJ. How old are
He's
you?
24.
And I'm so yeah, that's me then.
It's you.
I'm older than 40 though.
Yeah.
AJ, actually, how old are you?
No, Dave's got my back there.
You're not 24. Spill it.
I
You're-
don't usually do this publicly. Say, disclose that information.
Put him on the spot, man. Put him on the spot.
You usually go up and whisper in people's ears.
Yeah.
I'm 30 now.
Oh, did this
Right.
did this come from my joke about I'm 40 and I don't have kids? Is that what he's responding to?
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah.
also, I'm not 40, but I'm pretty fucking close, and I don't want kids, so that was all a joke. But I do want some pizza, so hopefully that guy's on his way.
yeah. You
Yeah.
can get that and get rid of it at any point.
Pizza?
Pizza.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
in Alabama. Even in
Not kids.
Alabama.
So, all right. So here's the thing, guys. We're kind of coming to the close of this week's episode, and I'm curious. Now that Five Nights at Freddy's got delayed by a week, Everybody's Golf is next week, but I don't think anything else on PSVR is coming out next week. Is that true? Not scheduled.
As far as I know, but I mean, stuff always pops out on the drop that you never expected, like fucking Bartender and Quar this week. It just
Right.
came out of nowhere, as far as I know.
Quar was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
Well, Quar was out on the European store for a while.
Yeah, like a couple
but-
months or something. But man, like, yeah, they that even went through a couple name changes. It was like Quar Infernal Machines now, but before it was like Quar Battle for Gate 18, I think.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
So weird.
Very
But
strange.
it is made by the same. It is made by Steel Wool, or Steel. is it
What did they
Steel Wool
make?
Studios?
Well, that's who. That's
What did
who's,
they make otherwise?
they're publishing Five Nights, but that's not who made it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of the
Okay.
people from it. Yeah, he's designing it, and you know that game. I thought it actually looks kind of interesting. Then I saw the $30 price tag, and I was just like,
Less interested.
nope.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so basically, it's just Everybody's Golf this upcoming week, and then the following week. Now the following week is kind of loaded up because then the following week will be Five Nights at Freddy's. On the I have no idea what the dates are. Let me check.
It's the
Blood,
28th.
Blood and
It's
Truth.
the 28th.
Yeah, the
so
28th will be Blood and
28th is-
Truth. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so and then I think the 31st or the 30th. I don't remember which months have 31 days, but
I haven't figured that out yet.
yeah, no. There's a clever thing you can remember with all the April.
Thank
Has
you.
30
Some
days
hours.
has September, April, something,
Yeah,
and
got it.
November. It's like something. I don't know. Fill in
So-
the blanks.
Either the 30th or the 31st is Trover Saves the Universe,
Yeah.
and so that's our lineup
Oh,
for
right.
the foreseeable future that we know of. I think.
Yeah, Tax Refund asks a good question. He goes, why is there no baseball VR game? Are they saving it for PSVR 2?
There is a baseball VR game, and it sucks.
Well, the Home Run Derby.
Home Run Derby.
Yeah, that
Home Run
does suck.
Derby. It's a waste of money.
Is that $20? I think
It
it was
was way
20
too
bucks.
expensive.
It was so expensive, and I got sick of it after
Yeah.
5 minutes. But I think thank you, Wolfie Smith, the Game Cub. He says, great show as always, guys. Thanks for the £2 donation. The thing about sports is that, like, who makes the sports games and who has the licenses? That's EA. And EA are the people, basically, who are refusing to get into the VR industry.
Well, no, but here's the thing. They made an officially branded MLB game, which
Yep.
is the Home Run Derby, and they made an officially branded NBA game, which is that stupid-ass
Yep.
DualShock. You can't even play with Move controllers. You have to press the R2 button.
Did they not patch that in?
R2.
I think so. I think you got to use the DualShock.
Oh,
And it's just like shooting into a hoop. It's like an arcadey kind of thing. But
Yeah.
both of those are just trash, kind of not even worth buying. But they're officially branded. They got the fucking NBA logo on there. They got the lights, like MLB. So, like, the licenses are there. EA doesn't apparently have a stranglehold. But nobody's making good games with them.
So real quick,
So,
next week
not that I
we
wanna
also
play
do
sports
have-
that much.
Remember, next week we do also have the firewall update, and then on the
Oh,
30th,
yeah, true.
we have Trover Saves the Universe, which is gonna be rad.
Did you not hear me already saying that?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
reading the chat. Yeah, Johnny. No, I reached out. I got to give a shout out to Clap Hands real quick because I did reach out to Clap Hands for a review key for Everybody's Golf, and they couldn't get me one. They said that you have to go through Sony, but they were really nice about it. Didn't block me or anything. So shout out to Clap Hands, the developers.
Let's
everything.
clap some hands for Clap
were-
Hands because they've been doing a good job for a long
They
time.
were
Yeah.
really polite,
Since
really
decades
respectful,
ago.
and I appreciate them over there. And I'm gonna be buying the game, so
Yeah.
excited.
Oh yeah.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, it sounds like that is pretty much the end of the show. I think.
I thought the show was 3 hours now. Aren't we doing 3-hour shows now?
I mean, we can totally do that. We can
You
totally.
guys want to start a top 50 list right now?
But it's creating. Watching the show is creating some eye strain with these small little windows that we're all stuck inside of. So it's giving me
Fair enough.
issues.
Not for people under 12.
No,
No.
the eyes aren't developed enough. You're right.
If you have 4 eyes, though, you could definitely put this in some weird VR contraption and definitely see some interesting shit.
I am the only four-eyed one here.
I wasn't making
That's
a
true.
glasses joke, Jeremy. Stop being so self-conscious.
Brian, were you just saying that, or do you mean it?
I mean, I was just saying that, and I mean it.
So real quick before we go, I see Miles saying Five Nights at Freddy's creator says the truth is that the game has become much bigger than it was initially conceived to be.
Yeah.
That's a very good thing, but because of that, I want to spend a little extra time with Dev. I don't know when that quote came from,
Yeah, this isn't
but
like
their
a
most
week.
their most recent statement about it was on Steam actually, and they said the developer was saying essentially we're missing out on marketing opportunities if we release it on the 21st, and so if we release it on the 28th, we'll have more marketing opportunities. We don't know what that means exactly, but that's currently the reason it got delayed, not because the dev wants to take more time. I think it's done already.
I don't think a week is going to change anything when it comes to
Yeah, it's
development
done
cycles.
already.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Also, shout out to Miles Dyer for getting the most comments read in one episode, man. I think we read all of his comments.
I think, no, that's
How do you
good.
get a check mark
Chris
on
Bryant, we-
You have to become
we might do,
verified.
games at some point. We might talk about games to avoid on a thing.
Yeah.
Great, JB. I'm interested in the Oculus Quest. Oh, I've got one more thing to share. So, I follow David Jaffe because I want to eventually, hopefully, get I'm a longtime Twisted Metal fan. I love Twisted Metal, and I was watching his stream last night. He was playing Dreams and previewing it. He's got a really cool channel, really controversial guy. So if you like subtlety, don't follow him. But if you don't care, do it. But he's been working on a new game, and somebody in the chat had asked, "What kind of engine are you working on, or have you picked an engine?" And he said, "No, I don't have an engine." But he did mention that if he can make it work, that he is interested in making it in VR. So David Jaffe might be making a story-driven horror game in VR. Maybe.
As long as it's better than
Potential.
Drawn to Death, if it's better than Drawn to Death, I'll be totally fine.
I hope it's in the Twisted Metal universe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
story-driven Twisted Metal game.
That would be
I love
amazing.
that, man.
Absolutely.
Dude, Twisted Metal.
It's like they
Twisted
do a
Metal
God
had-
of War on it, and it's like all of a sudden like a narrative.
Excuse
It got like a
me.
child. Sorry.
Twisted Metals did have great stories back
In the beginning, the little snippets of the character stories,
Fair
right?
enough. Fair enough.
Before, yeah, and like you'd beat the game. I beat like every Twisted Metal there is, minus like Small Brawl or something. But at the end of every time, you would get the racer reaching Calypso and getting a wish, and the wish would always turn bad on them. So
Right.
if you ever get a chance, go look at the spoilers for Twisted Metal cutscenes. Good
Too bad they couldn't just port Twisted Metal and Motorstorm. Was it Motorstorm that used to have?
That would be fantastic.
I would
A
take
lot of-
Vigilante 8 too. Vigilante 8 was in this.
Dude,
I
I
don't
would
remember
take
playing it
Twisted
too
Metal
much.
Black from the PS2. Like, it's still my favorite one, man. Just the visual style on that, the graphics. I mean, you throw it into VR, man. I'm sure it'll be just fine. Like, don't worry about anything. Just push it out the door. I don't care.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Sell physical copies only at Hot Topic.
All I can tell you is don't play that game anytime soon. It is not aged gracefully.
Shh,
No.
let me enjoy my memories, man. I did have to unhook my PS2 the other day because every single game I put in, I was like, this doesn't hold up the way I want it to. So
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. Shadow Hearts. I've been wanting to play it again. I know, really, and I'm afraid it's gonna just be like, oh, you know. And Prince of Persia, Sands of Time. I'd love to belt that one out again, but I feel like it would be like, ugh.
that could
I like
a
this.
PS3 remaster at least. So there's like a somewhat more recent version of that.
Did that?
Yeah.
I probably own it. I'd have to dig through the boxes.
I never played. I heard how good the PS2 versions of that were. I only played the SNES version, like way back in the day.
Oh, for real? Yeah, I played that one when it came out too. But yeah, the Sands of Time one I played on the GameCube. Awesome, one of my top 5.
Nice. All right, you guys.
Dude, that's a different class, Dave. Oh, yeah, the bottle. No.
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, it says. I don't know if this is backwards. It says, "Someone get this beer a guy."
It's backwards saying, but
I
it
got it
is
in a gas
forward.
station. It was like $1.50, and I was like, "This is the dumbest cup." I really like it.
Yeah, but for $1.50, you've already gotten your money's worth.
Exactly. There you go.
Nice. All right, you guys. I think that's going to do it for another episode of PSVR Gamescast Live. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to my guest hosts this week, Jeremy King, the Sofa King himself. I cannot wait to see what you decide to start streaming as of next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Without Parole. Thank you, AJ, for all of your help on the top 20 list, man. I really, really appreciate that. And also make sure you subscribe to him on YouTube on PSVR Underground. Also,
Better do it right now.
Also, our other weekly host, Dave from Dave Station VR. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well.
Down this way, wherever he is.
If you feel like it.
And just a little side note here before we take off, it's going to be a little bit of a wonky week for the channel. There won't be an episode of Why We Love PSVR this upcoming week, and there will apparently not be an episode of Viewer Takeover this week either. I had something special planned, it didn't pan out, and so sorry, I was taking a mini vacation, but that extra time is going to allow me to do reviews for. I'm basically working on 4 reviews at once right now, so expect some
Madman.
What?
I said you're a madman.
Oh, I thought Madman was
thought
back in the
Madman
chat.
said something.
It's like,
Yeah.
he went to bed hours ago.
No, I can't see the chat at all here. I'm just on the Discord.
All right, so
Yeah, man.
anybody got any final words before we say goodbye?
AJ, fix your shit.
AJ, fix your fucking shit, dude.
Yes, John Wick 3 this weekend, and Brightburn is next weekend.
Oh, next weekend. Okay.
Brightburn is next weekend.
I can't wait for Brightburn. Awesome.
I'm going.
Cool. We'll have you back to talk about it.
Yep, I'll be here.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you support us on Patreon. Make sure you submit your viewer takeover questions. Change your name to GameCat. And we absolutely love you all. Y'all been
Nice. Monday night streams. We'll see what's next.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye, guys.
Still rolling.
Yeah, and as always, they can probably hear us.
What's up, guys? We said we left, but we're still here.
We're just hanging out.
But we're gonna leave. But well, we could just hang out. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I will tell you right now that OBS hates it when the name of the window changes. Like so,
Really?
because when Jeremy joined us, the name of the window changed, and it didn't know what window it was supposed to recognize.
Oh, that's why it disappeared. That makes sense.
So I learned something new this week, but it's like, totally gotta fix
I
that.
hope this does get broadcast so people can get like some insight into it. Yes.
How to fix OBS.
Postmortem. It's like a GDC talk, you know, like
I'll tell you what we did wrong. And then it's
you want to talk about it?
no, I think I think it was a great show as always. I love the show. Where is looks there it is.
I can't see it. I can't see
Yeah,
it.
I've got some stuff I gotta take care of, but let me figure out what the hell's going on.
Yeah, dude, like, let's do some troubleshooting as soon as we can, because I want that up and running. I don't want to feel like I can't talk. Like, I have a way of